Thoughts on Kathleen Kennedy reportedly stepping down from Lucasfilm, being replaced by Dave Filoni and Lywin Renan. I mean, we've had these rumors for a long time with varying degrees of credibility to them. Seems like it kind of makes sense because she's in her 70s now. So, and just from the side to it of, does the public think she's done a good job? No, they do not. And is there a bunch of business reasons to go, maybe you need to get someone else to run this thing a little bit better? Yes, there is. So not too much of a surprise that after, I mean, like by now, it's going to end up being about a 15-year tenure running Lucasfilm. This is not a short run. She was announced well over a decade ago at this point in time. So what do I make of the fact that Dave Filoni's the one that they're saying? He's kind of the person that's always been the obvious person to take over because he's been so plugged in, was a protege of George Lucas, and kind of was the lore hound for so long. But I've said it before, I think Dave Filoni's the most overrated name in Star Wars. That it's not that he is terrible, but I just don't think, I've never seen anything from him that captures the epic storytelling of George Lucas. Doing solid episodic television where there's the runtime of television to build out characters and lore did some really cool stuff and really interesting stuff to expand the world and make the prequels era much better. But that's not the same thing as delivering a movie that just taps into timeless Joseph Campbell-esque mythology and storytelling. There's something that George Lucas did that just had a big sweeping scale to it that I simply do not see in Dave Filoni in any of his work. And even on his television over the last few years, he's been a part of some of the projects that I found to be disappointing. That they ended up ultimately not delivering on the promise of the premise, where he had some really good stuff and didn't fully deliver on it. And somewhat also to that point, I think he loves some of his characters a little bit too much. And he's a little bit too attached to these characters he invented for Clone Wars or whatever. And so it becomes kind of this insiders club. And not to say that there aren't a lot of people that grew up on and love Clone Wars, Rebels, Ahsoka, and all of this. That is a large percentage of the Star Wars fandom. But the Star Wars fandom is this big. And when you're trying to reignite things and you get someone that's really obsessed with his 25%, I don't know what the percentage is. I'm not looking to be nitpick the percentage of it, but you have someone that's really locked in on their little thing when you really need to ignite this again. I just don't see him as the right guy. He has a lot to offer. I just don't see him as someone that just has as big and bold of a vision as George Lucas to carry this thing onward. And even being the visionary storyteller, but also just having the depth of history, of film, of true actual history. George Lucas was a sociology major, and he just loves studying anthropology. I've been to Lucasfilm, I've been to Skywalker Ranch, and you walk around and there's just posters of all of these movies of these different genres that inspired him, that he pulled all of this stuff from. And I just don't get that richness, this depth of knowledge of history, of film, of storytelling from Dave Filoni as the person to bring forward. I don't know who that is. There's a lot of, most people are worse options than Dave Filoni. I just don't view Dave Filoni as the magic solution to Star Wars' problems. And perhaps that's the exact problem. There's never going to be another George Lucas. And even at a certain point in time, George Lucas stopped being the George Lucas that a lot of people wanted him to be. You can't recapture the magic of your childhood forever. And we've seen that repeatedly as people have grown up and become frustrated with new eras of Star Wars.
Most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month. For $2 per month, $20 per year, you can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams. For $5 per month, you get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.